What's up, investors and people of Reddit, it's the Russian Dude and this is your daily update on Russian-Ukrainian war as of Wednesday, April 13th. And as always, I have two major stories to talk about with you today. First is the survey that is circulating among Russians, which asks, hypothetically, who do you see as the president of Russia in case Putin dies? The survey came kinda out of the blue, but if you think about it, it might start making sense. And if you are intrigued, please stay for this part of the video. And second is the massive relocation and concentration of Russian forces in the east of Ukraine. Please keep watching the video if you wonder why they decided to gather exactly there. I will also briefly present some other events and news that happened today. A very interesting survey started circulating today among Russians in various social medias, which basically says the following. Here is a hypothetical situation. What if Putin dies today? Who of these people you see as his successor? And among the possible candidates is the Minister of Defense Sergei Shoigu, the Minister of Foreign Affairs Sergei Lavrov, the President of Chechnya Ramzan Kadyrov, and ex-President of Russia and the one and only president except Putin, Dmitry Medvedchuk. And I mean, at first glance, this survey came kinda out of nowhere, but if you start thinking about it, might start making sense. And I mean, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, I'm gonna be just blatantly presenting facts from what I see on various social medias, but it has been reported that possibly Vladimir Putin has a thyroid cancer. Specifically, in one of his most recent public appearances, when there was a funeral of one of Russian politicians, some people noticed big inflammation in his under-chin area. In addition to that, it has been reported by many media sources, including the official ones, is that Putin is frequently accompanied by an oncologist. And I mean, I'm not making here any conclusions, I'm just presenting you the things that many people online discuss so that you can make your own decision what to think about this survey. In this video you can see Russian tanks shooting at civilian buildings in Mariupol. And I'm not exactly sure why they do it, because the city is already basically in ruins. And by the way, if you like this style of daily news reporting, feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also, I will be donating all of my Patreon memberships at the end of each month to Ukraine. And if you want to be a part of this group donation, please make sure to check the link in the description. The biggest news of yesterday was the capture of Viktor Medvedchuk, who is one of the biggest friends and allies of Vladimir Putin. For those of you who haven't seen my yesterday's video about this guy, which by the way should definitely go ahead and watch it, so you always understand exactly what I'm talking about in my future videos, the President Putin is the godfather of the daughter of this guy, which just shows how close they are. This guy was basically sent to Ukraine with almost direct orders from Putin himself to destabilize the country from the inside. He was the leader of one of the opposition political parties in Ukraine, and he was constantly supporting Russia. So eventually he got captured by the army of Ukraine, and later it was suggested to exchange him for Ukrainian prisoners of war. The first response from the Russian side about the capture of Viktor Medvedchuk was that these pictures need to be probably analyzed because they might be a fake. But eventually, when the arrest was finally confirmed, Russian side basically said, we really don't need this guy. Specifically, what Russia said is that Viktor Medvedchuk is not a citizen of Russia, he does not have any relation to this so-called military operation, and in fact, he's an international politician. So basically, if this is how closest friends of Putin are treated, you can only imagine the attitude towards regular Russian people and soldiers. Some Russian men decide to support this so-called military operation in Ukraine by doing very stylish haircuts. It is no longer a secret that Russia is now concentrating its forces in the east of Ukraine, because according to the Ministry of Defense of Russia, the second stage of this so-called military operation is to fight extensively and liberate Donbass region. So as a result, we have Russian soldiers mainly leaving the north of Ukraine to relocate to this region. There are also many satellite images and intelligence reports, including from different countries such as America, that yes, indeed Russian army is going to Donbass region. And according to the British media sources, Russia is now concentrating its massive forces in the east of Ukraine for possibly one final push. They're estimating that Russia is planning to gather somewhere in between 200 and 350,000 soldiers. And my Ukrainian uncle also confirms this fact, saying that Ukrainian army is also kind of relocating to this region. He is really worried that this can be a real massacre and peak of this war, but I sincerely hope it never comes to this. And in this video, allegedly from Romania, we can see the military vehicles of NATO getting closer to the border with Ukraine. One of the main alleged goals of Russia in this conflict is to denazify Ukraine, which basically means kill all Nazis. And according to them, the most Nazistic force in Ukraine present at this very moment is the Azov battalion. The main headquarters of this battalion is supposedly in the steel factory Azov Azovstal, which is located in Mariupol, Ukraine. And in this map of Mariupol, you can see the territory which is highlighted in blue, which is still under control of Azov, while the territory which is highlighted in red is the territory occupied by Russians. So we kinda see the last stand of Azov battalion. But today, the advisor to the president of Ukraine, Alexei Arestovich, mentioned that Azov battalion received reinforcements. As for now, the city of Mariupol is still being defended by Ukrainians, and now the defense became even stronger. In this video from Poland, we can see the military vehicles being transported allegedly from Germany to Ukraine. At this very moment, France is in the middle of the presidential elections, and two main candidates is the current president of France, Emmanuel Macron, and the challenger Marine Le Pen. As for now, current president Macron is leading by a couple percentage points. And today, the challenger Marine Le Pen mentioned that in case she wins in these presidential elections, she will make France leave NATO. For this reason, some rumors started appearing online that she might be in some way connected to Russia. And in this video, we can see the children's hospital in Zaporozhye, Ukraine. Some young Russian men who avoid by any means being sent to Ukraine received these stamps in their official military documents. And what it basically says is that this person can be potentially a traitor and a liar. Some people in Russia still keep putting Z letters on their cars, which makes their neighbors pretty unhappy. And as a result, they slash their tires and break windows. Some Russian soldiers/marauders who are trying to send the stolen Ukrainian goods back to their home countries from Belarus are no longer able to track their packages. Specifically, around 65% of packages that are being sent from the territory of Belarus receive the status of not found or never sent. And just a quick remark here, Belarus is supposedly the ally of Russia. Today, some students in Romania almost had a heart attack whenever they saw the C symbol in their dormitory. And what it turned out to be is that one of the students decided to dry his towel, which apparently had a very bad design. American President Joe Biden says that the inflation in the US, which is at this very moment is 8.5%, is 70% because of this so-called military operation in Ukraine, which is kind of an improvement because just a couple of weeks ago he was saying that the inflation is not because of never-ending money printing and all this free money, but 100% because of Putin. Following Finland's decision to join NATO, the Prime Minister of Sweden also said that the country is thinking about joining the alliance as well. According to their rough estimations, they are planning to apply somewhere in June 29th-30th. The US announces $750 million more in weapons to support Ukraine. In these infographics presented to us by the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, we can see the approximate losses by Russia in this war. According to this, Russia has lost approximately 19,800 soldiers, 739 tanks, and 158 planes. And if you want to see more details, feel free to pause the video. The talks between Russia and Ukraine continue almost daily, and whenever sides cannot meet in person, they do these meetings through online format. And according to the representative of Ukrainian side, Mikhailo Podolyak, one of the things that both sides agreed upon today was that President Zelensky and President Putin must meet in person as soon as possible to resolve this conflict. Many people in Russia are now reporting that they are seeing these posters in Russian subways, which basically invite them to go to war to Ukraine for money. The presidents of Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania and Poland have met today with the president of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky. They were discussing how they can assist Ukraine in this war and what other means of pressure against Russia they can use. Last week, allegedly Ukrainian helicopters attacked the territory of Russia, specifically the city of Belgorod. Some people basically said that yes, these were indeed Ukrainian helicopters, but other people thought that this was Russians bombing themselves so that they can justify continuing this special military operation on the territory of Ukraine. And today, the Ministry of Defense of Russia made a statement that in case attacks against Russian territory from Ukrainian side continue, Russia will have to use missile strikes against the capital of Ukraine, Kyiv. So basically, here we go. If you're on the side of those people thinking that Russia would attack itself so that it can justify further military actions inside Ukraine, this is what happened. Thank you so much for your attention, stay safe and see you tomorrow.